This is TomSlickTV.com.
Real lives. Real talk. Real experiences. It's oops, have I said too much? Oops, with l.marie talking to you. Getting in your feelings, tell me if you want it. Have I said too much? I know I touched upon it. Love, healing, marriage, hear me.
Hello. Welcome to Oops, Have I Said Too Much? My name is l.marie. This is my guest co-host, Wilson. He's new to the show. Welcome to the show, Wilson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. How y'all doing?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Is this your first time on TV?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Are you nervous just yet?
No.
Nope.
No.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Today we're going to be talking about the state of black love. We know in 2018, times have changed. Things are different. Dating, there's been role reversals. Women are much more empowered these days, and things are just changing. So what we're going to talk about today on Oops, Have I Said Too Much is the state of black love. As you heard in the opening credits, it's all about real lives, real talk, and real experiences. So in the studio today, we have a couple of real people who are going to talk about love, relationships, and family. So thank you both so much for joining us here in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me as well.
Good. And you are Shiek, correct?
Correct.
All right. And your name is?
Latisha.
Latisha. Thank you folks so much for joining us. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Shiek. I have here, though, that you're a businessman and self-described intellectual. Tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background.
Well, my background as far as business, I've just really ventured out into business probably about 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
So I took on a role as being a barber. I opened up a barber shop, ran a couple shops and stuff like that, and wanted to get more into the corporate world. So
How's that going?
it's just going all right, man. You know, I've been cutting for like 26 years, but I've really just started taking it serious. So you know how that is.
Yeah, I already know.
Yeah. But yeah, also too, you know, and I started working with the corporation. So I'm a trustee of a corporation now, a major corporation, and I'm working to try to bring that full circle and make it do what it's supposed to do.
That's definitely important in the black community. We've definitely got to build up with each other and build out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Latisha. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you again for having me. I am all about image. That's my field. What I work in looking good, staying stylish.
Yeah, we like to look good.
Never look like what you're going through.
Absolutely. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Even if you've been drugged through the mud,
Right.
don't
you still
show
must
it.
look good.
Yeah, flick it off and keep going.
Yeah, a lot of wardrobe styling, makeup, all the image things is the business that I run.
Right. Right.
Have either of you, are either of you married?
No.
Nope. Single at the time as well.
Single? What
Single
about
as
children?
well.
Do you have children?
I have children.
I have a child. I have a
Have
daughter.
one child?
Yes.
Yep. How's your relationship with the mother of your child?
I really can't even explain it to you. It's more, it'll take the whole show actually to break this down.
Are you guys on good terms though? Are you able to, sort of work together?
There's no communication in between whatsoever. So,
How old is your daughter?
my daughter, she's 18 this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
you made it through.
so she's
Y'all made it
grown
through
now.
though.
now.
But yeah, it's getting to the point now to where she actually want to come around a little bit, and actually want to know who I really am.
Right,
you know?
right.
My mother did a terrible job
Right,
as
right.
far as keeping the connection between me and her.
So you really not trying to. So you really don't have to deal with like right now. You really
It's
don't
getting
have
to
deal
that
with
point. Yes, it's getting to that point to where I no longer have to deal
Deal
with
with
her.
the mother.
Yeah.
You just deal with the
Just deal with my child. But I still have much love for her. I always gonna have love for her because she bear my child. So that's that. Yeah.
So one thing I heard you say was the mother didn't do a good job of keeping the two of you connected. Can you elaborate on that?
It's mainly a two-way street. I can only do so much, and you have to play your part too as well. So with that being said, it's like some time it lapsed to where I wasn't nowhere around, and then when I finally come back, then she disappears. So when she disappears, now it's like we can't really get that bond that we need to as far as to be a co-parent.
I went through that situation myself with my daughter.
Yeah.
I wasn't really I was a street person.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't in my daughter's. I was in my daughter's life, but I wasn't.
Right. You didn't take it serious
as much. Because that was my first child.
That's
as much
same.
as I needed to, but when I realized what I needed to do,
right.
I went on.
That's when that's when you start to step up.
That's when I stepped up.
And that's the same with me too as well. Wow.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you guys got a good bond.
Yeah.
Okay, That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good.
That's good. That's really good. What about you, Latisha? You said that you have
I have 3 children.
3 children.
And I've always had good relationship, you know, like I'm a real good co-parenter, and even if the other party is not involved, you know, I just try to not speak bad on them, you know.
Yes, that's
Right.
You know, it's very
important.
important
very
because I don't want to create a bad image from what I experienced. Let them have their own experience. I don't have to talk bad about them at all.
Right.
It will show,
Actually,
you know.
Actually.
So
Actually, it
That's-
shows.
you know, it's kind
That's
of
key right
been a happy ground.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
because you know he'll make himself look bad on his own. Yeah.
Eventually she'll see it. Or he or she will see
We don't
it.
have to badmouth the dad. We don't have to. But I know mothers do though.
There are mothers.
Yes.
There are mothers who
Yes,
do that.
and use the kid as a pawn and all that. I have seen that. I have witnessed that.
I'm a victim of
But
that.
me, I didn't do that. And I like to say and give myself credit actually for not doing that.
You should.
Yep.
Good job.
You should.
I think it's
do.
because what I saw other mothers do and how it did affect the children.
It's definitely very important. I know in my personal life, it's very important for me to maintain a great relationship with the fathers of my children, just
Definitely,
because
definitely.
it's all about the kids at this point. And I think a lot of people
Exactly.
miss
That
that
point,
and miss
yep.
that.
It is about the kid. Yeah.
What was the biggest struggle that you faced in co-parenting? Well, actually, before co-parenting came into play, what was the relationship like between you and your now co-parent?
Back then, what was it like?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you start out with love, you know, you start out, you're in
you
love
thought
with
it was
your
love.
young, puppy love. And then
shining.
what happened with me is that, you know, when you're so young, you're just so young. And then, you know, from 18 to 25, now I'm a totally different person. And who you grow into isn't maybe necessarily the person you were when you were 18.
True.
Right.
So not that we grew apart, we just both grew.
Right.
You know, and not that we grew away from each other in any way, we just kind of grew in different ways.
Did the kid make you grow more separate, or did it make you grow more closer?
Actually, more closer, but closer to co-parent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of
Instead of
closer in a
being together.
relationship.
Instead of being together.
Yeah.
So there was a romance there at that point.
Exactly.
But there was
the kids
cooperation.
there, so we had to have care.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
And even though, let me put this in there, even though sometimes the dad maybe would badmouth me though,
really?
I still took the high road though.
I was going to ask, how did you
I still
handle
took
that?
the high road. You know, it may have been a couple of lies because things didn't go his way, but it always ended up, as long as I kind of kept that high road, it came back to calm street. Right. You know what I mean? But now if I had
There has to be
fueled
that
it,
balance.
yeah,
There
if
has
I
to
had
be one person
fueled
who has
it,
that sense and that
Exactly.
control
Yeah,
and
to
is
play a
able to
bigger
say,
part.
let's not take this
Right.
to the
you know,
next
to
level.
another.
Exactly.
Absolutely, that has to take place. What about blended families? Have you ever been in a relationship and had to, or wanted to sort of blend your relationship with your other significant other and their children? How did that work out?
That was my ex that was trying for me because he had one daughter that was a kind of a problem kid. You know, she was in a lot of trouble and she maybe would kind of like put us against each other a little bit. So that was kind of hard because she kind of had a lot of issues, I feel like, that I didn't have anything to do with. You know, she had the issues before I came into the relationship. So when I would try to maybe mother her, she maybe had an attitude, so I wouldn't mother too much, even though he wanted me to, you know what I mean? And I kind of felt pressure, like, so it was kind of trying, but I just always try to do my best for her, you know, try to give her the best advice and stuff like that, because her mother had kind of dropped the ball because he actually had custody of her.
Oh, okay.
So it was an interesting dynamic.
Right.
But I feel like with her not having that relationship with her mom out the gate,
You trying to give her the relationship.
so she kind of like the mother thing. It was just kind of like so it was trying.
So she was tug of war because her mom, because she didn't have the mother.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And she didn't want you to be. She didn't want you to be really the scapegoat from what's going on with her mother.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It was an unfortunate situation, but you know. She's doing good today, though. You know, she's grown now, and she has her own child.
Yeah,
so,
I've experienced that too with relationship with a female, and she had some children too as well. And I tried to take them on as my own, not really playing the father part, you know. But it was rough. It was rough. Yeah, the whole thing. She was a really good woman, really good woman, good quality woman, but. It was more so the children that was
right.
Yeah.
Because you can't discipline the kids like you want to.
Exactly.
Because it's not yours.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, and you ain't gonna feel.
Right.
You're not gonna feel the same towards them that you feel towards your kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a natural feeling.
Right.
It's
But
a natural
I mean,
feeling.
even still, you know, you still can feel them. You still can feel a lot about it. But it's just the fact that you really, like you said, you really can't get on them like it was your own child, because you never know the relationship that the father has with the mother, and so you don't want to jeopardize their relationship on that end. At the same time, you want the children to be obedient.
Exactly.
That sort of touches on a topic that I wanted to talk about. We were talking earlier about Russell Wilson and Sierra and their situation, and and how he's taking care of Future's son, and a lot of men don't agree with that. A lot of men are sort of offended by the fact that there's another man that's stepping into this young boy's life and playing that role.
Well,
would you take that if you met a woman? Would you take on that role, a father figure?
Yeah,
role
absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't mind taking on that role. You know, it's not really the fact that whether I feel like I should or shouldn't, but it's just the fact that we know that if there's a child involved, of course, we both know that that child has to have that balance to be able to see the role that the mother and the father is playing in the household. Right. So it's only right for you to do what's right in front for the child, and for your significant other as well.
Certainly.
Right, because if you in a relationship with that woman or with that man,
it's a package deal.
It's a package deal. It has to be, right? Okay.
So you got to take both.
Now I'd like to add this. You know what? With my ex, it was hard for him to come in and father my children.
Really?
I felt like he just kind of I think once he took that role on, he felt like that, okay, now this is my responsibility. Now I have more responsibility. So I think that was a hurdle for him.
How long did it take?
Even though he did it, but I felt like maybe he didn't fully open up that he could have.
How long did it take for him to...
He never really did. He never really did. I mean, he did a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like he never did really step into that, like, father figure role.
Did you want him to?
But he was not my husband.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Did you want him?
So the commitment wasn't
so
there.
Maybe that is another reason why he did it, because we were not married.
Right.
And if I'm in your life now, maybe I won't be, in which he is not now.
Right.
So that's like tug of war with the kid, you know? So I think maybe he was safeguarding himself and my children at the same time.
Right.
But us as women, I feel like I was really more open to mother his daughter and to do all that I could do.
Well, that's because you're a mother.
I think
we're
it's
mothers,
natural.
we're more nurturing. We're nurturing, and we're always going to want to step in and make sure that the
But he was
children
very
are okay.
cautious about, you know, not putting himself so much out there as the father figure role.
You think
more of the friend he was to
You think
them.
he was doing that so he wouldn't lose you?
Maybe.
You got a point there. You got a good point
there.
there.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because that's why he's probably doing it. That's why he probably didn't give 70% because he might lose you and you might get mad off of any situation that happens.
But get this though. As soon as I left, okay. Now here comes the please. Now he wanted to. You know, now he was putting into his plea to come back or me to take him back. now I'll step up and do this more or be this more active role. I'm ready now. But at that time, you know how we can be.
Okay, now it's
too late.
When a woman's fed up.
Yeah, it was too late. I was just done
I
and
actually
ready
had
to move on.
that experience personally. My oldest daughter, she's 16 years old.
Okay.
I met my, I don't know what to call it, my estranged husband, I guess.
Okay.
When she was 3 years old, and they formed a really good bond. And she was actually the only person that he was the only person that my daughter had ever met. I didn't introduce her to anyone, but they formed a really good bond. And at one point, it was the proverbial. I know you've seen the movie Baby Kids. Are you my daddy? Yeah. And she sort of asked him, can I call you dad? Can I call you my daddy?
Yeah,
and he just he jumped right into it and was just like, sure, absolutely. And they have the best relationship even today. And we're not together, but they still, it's absolutely a blessing.
It takes a village.
It does take a village. I posted that on Facebook the other day. It definitely takes a village. We've got to step in for our kids when they need us. Because if we don't, who is going to do it? Who is going to take care of it?
That's right. It's so true. So true.
Okay, let me ask. Now you said when y'all left each other alone, he wanted to get back with you. Okay, now did you give him the acceptance to be like that with his kids? You know what I'm saying? For him to be like...
You mean like once we were done?
Yeah, once I was done.
He was trying to come back.
He was trying to come back. Now, did he feel like... Okay, now, did he feel like he was more accepted to, like...
He was, but he wanted me first, though.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it wasn't like he was going to come back and just forge a relationship with my kids if I wasn't down to be his woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Same way with my situation.
Okay.
He was just saying like, now
It was all
I'll be your man, and I'm going to step up more.
Right.
But by that time, like I said, it was too late.
It seems like that would make more sense. I mean, you've definitely got to have a great bond there before, between the two of you before you can involve the children.
Yeah, totally.
Just to have to break the children, bringing children involved, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Have either of you come close to marriage?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
You been married a couple times?
No, I've been close.
Oh, okay.
Yes, very close.
Have you proposed?
Yes, I did.
And what happened with that?
Nah, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it? You broke it? Did you leave her at the altar?
No, I didn't.
No,
I'm sorry. Why would you do that? but no, I didn't. We didn't get that far. But what I did propose and ask her to marry me. The one that I told you was an excellent woman, but it was just the children. Me and one of her children had got into an argument, and he was maybe like 15, and so it was almost to a point to where it was a fist fight, and I kind of probably pushed him or something like that, and me being a man, he being a child, that wasn't that right at all. So I had to really step back and take a look at what we had, but she's worth it.
That kind of reminds me of the movie Baby Boy too, when Tyrese and Ving Rhames kind of had the
issues that they was having.
Do you think that was according to your? That's it's an accurate depiction of how it really
So he was tug of war.
Yes,
it was a tug of war.
Yes, but the crazy part about it now is because he's older, he's like 25 or 24. Me and him have a really good relationship.
Exactly.
Like we still talk.
Because he understood.
He understood.
He understand.
And so like sometimes now I wish I could rewind time back now because we have a better relationship.
Right. I'm not trying to be your father. I'm trying to.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm trying to be the one that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got close, but it didn't. That was the only thing about it. Unfortunate, but.
What do you think in the Black community is the biggest barrier to really establishing a family and having successful families, successful relationships, and successful marriages? What do you think is the biggest barrier?
What I think, I don't know that it's a barrier, but I think that a lot of men are pressured into marriage. That's what I feel like. I feel like the woman puts a lot of pressure on them. You're gonna ask me, or looking at wedding books.
Now, yes, it's like
little
that.
heads, so I feel like that's why the marriages generally don't last, because the man is pressured into doing it. Even like the family, or there may be children, or all kind of different reasons. And instead of the man really, really wanting to be married, he just wants to please her.
Yeah.
Instead of
I can
wanting
see
to
that.
be a married man.
I can see that.
Yeah, so I feel like that's been a big, big problem. Even, I mean, I feel like within our community, in the Black community, I feel like Black men have been pressured to marry.
Do you think that we romanticize marriage too much here in our country? Do you think that we romanticize it too much?
I think we do. Which is the main reason why I never have.
Well, you know, every woman wants to be married, right?
Yeah, we
Everyone
do,
wants
but
to, everyone wants to have a
no,
wife.
I wasn't that woman, but I have abandonment issues from parents. So that's why. But it took me to get to here now to understand that. And so now I want to be married. Now I have hope and love, and which I always have.
Right.
But it took me to grow and understand who I was more to be in a better space. You know what? A long time ago I did.
I know, it came
A
out
long
in
time
like
ago I
86.
did, but I haven't seen it since. So I would need to see it now. Because you know, you can see a movie when you were
And it means something
18
totally
and see it
different.
now, and you get a
Totally
totally different meaning. So
Totally different.
True.
if I can remember a little bit, was she very promiscuous?
Yeah.
I guess we could call it
Okay.
promiscuous.
Yes.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Very.
I can't remember
never seen it.
details.
We'll just say that's a solid yes.
Okay.
I'll get on the fire stick tonight.
Well,
But was that her problem though? Did she not want to be married?
her name was Nola Darling in the
Okay.
movie, and she had 3 boyfriends.
Okay.
And a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
see,
had
I
3
don't remember it at all. I have to
Wow.
go watch. I just
She had 3
remember her having
boyfriends and a
a
girlfriend.
lot of, like a revolving
Very
door is what I remember.
With her, it wasn't so much a revolving door as much as it's just, well, maybe I guess you could say it, but she
She
was very
juggling
open. She was juggling the 3 of them,
Okay.
but she was very open with
So not like a
all
revolving door,
of the
like
suitors.
new guys. It's just
Well,
those
it was
same
those
3.
regulars.
Okay.
Now,
gonna have to go watch it
if
now.
I may touch on that subject, one day I had to look up the definition of relationship,
Okay.
and it's really not what we would say as me and her or her and me. When you look up the definition, and
Well, let's look up the definition of relationship.
Yeah, and you,
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Let's
Please.
do it.
And you will get a.
You said it's not. It
Definitions
wasn't.
are always interesting.
Yeah, because it will give you more understanding as far as to why she did what she did and got away with it, possibly.
Really?
Yes.
Who? What?
Nola Darling in the movie?
Okay.
So
Okay.
now I understand a lot about relationships now today because I just had to look that up.
Because you looked up that one
yeah,
word.
yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to look at Merriam-Webster.com. And we're going to look up the definition of relationship. And it's the state of being related or interrelated. The relation connecting or binding participants in a relationship, such as a kinship or a specific type of kinship. It's a state of affairs existing between those having relations or dealings, a romantic or a passionate attachment.
Actually, it was another definition that I would suggest that you take a look at.
Okay.
Was it a different dictionary?
No, you could just basically Google it. It'll pop right up. Google it. It'll pop right up.
Okay. Let's see what we get.
Relationship.
Let's see
Go
what
ahead,
we
go
get.
ahead, go ahead.
What was your? Okay.
No, I'm
The
going.
way in which 2 or more concepts.
Keyword.
2 or more.
That's
The
a
way
trick
in which
question.
2 or
She
more
gotta have it.
concepts, objects or people are connected,
Objects
or
or
the state
people.
of being connected.
So that's the key word. The key word is 2 or more concepts or people.
The way in which 2 or more people or organizations regard and behave toward each other. So, essentially, we could say that Nola and all 3 of her suitors were in a relationship
As
because
long-
they were all working together,
As long as they agreed to it.
Right.
and they did.
Yeah.
Because she'd received phone calls from.
I'm gonna have to go watch this.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Don't worry, I'm going to watch it tonight. I'll check it out
Yeah,
tonight.
because I wonder if it's on Netflix.
So
It is definitely on Netflix.
I know there's a series called She's Gotta Have It
Both
right
of them
now
are on there.
Netflix.
Both of them are on
And it
there.
just got open for a new season.
I know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it
Yeah.
out.
I'm a
really,
fan
what
of
she was
Nola.
doing was just like she's just doing what a man do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which
Now,
is
see-
which is like.
What was
I'm gonna touch on that too.
player?
See, I would disagree
Player
with
about
that.
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna say it this way. I'm gonna say it this way. As in, Okay, females loves to be in relationships.
Okay.
A man more so don't like to be in relationships. He like to have friends.
He likes the perks
You know what
that
I'm
are in a
saying?
relationship,
I'm-
though.
yeah,
He likes
I'm
to
really-
use those perks.
Yes, he does.
though.
Yeah. He likes them.
He likes
I'm
the
gonna break
perks
that down.
Okay, go ahead.
come
Okay,
along
okay.
with
How you feel about that? How you
relationship.
feel about that?
So when you speak in relationship,
Yeah.
you're more so speaking on a business terminology.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So let's talk marriage then.
So when you talk in relationships, you got to look at the word. You know, the root of the word is relate, and the suffix of the word is ship.
Ships. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when you look at relationship, dealership,
Right.
membership,
Friendship.
friendship,
Right.
courtship, these are all terminologies of business.
Right.
Absolutely.
And not to mention, so
Right.
say like if I take on, so say like I take
like
on
that, though.
a relationship with
It's a business. I
with,
got you, yeah.
with her,
Yeah.
you understand. Then she
Exactly.
then we will have what is called a partnership.
Partnership. Right.
You see
like
what I'm
that.
saying? It's,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
all business in which
Yeah.
we use to conduct business in everyday life.
But we talking
buy houses, buy
about
cars.
an emotional relationship.
Right. When the emotions are in there.
relationship. No,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talking about
That's
emotional
different.
relationships.
Yeah.
Nola Darla had emotional relationships, but
She had emotional relationships with each one. Like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
did.
she had emotional relationships with each one, but to the men, it was business.
She's just like a man.
To her,
But
it
those are the
No,
concepts.
no, no,
was
no.
getting
It
it mixed
wasn't.
up
It
then.
wasn't business to them. With,
To her, it was business.
With Jamie, nope. Jamie said that was the love of. She was the love of his life.
Right, right,
And it
right.
was all about bad timing.
Right.
Not Greer. I can't remember the other fellow's name. Mars. Mars.
Yeah, Mars, yeah.
Mars was very much all about Nola. He was
Yeah.
very supportive of her. Anything that she needed or wanted, he always made sure that he was there to try to fulfill whatever that need was. And I just see Nola as so powerful because the three of them all did love her. And then the Thanksgiving scene,
I gotta go.
Yeah.
that's what really got me. They were all dancing together, you know, when they ate together. They were
So wait a
going to
minute,
bed
all
together.
three of the guys?
All three of them. were
And so
together.
they were all cool. So was it like sister wives reversed?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
a lot of men, I talked about it on social media, and a lot of my
Brother
male friends.
husbands. Brother husbands.
I guess you could say
Instead of
brother
sister
husbands.
wives. Brother husbands.
Men don't like it.
Gross.
Men are
I
very
don't either. I think it's gross.
Well,
To each his
I see what you,
own.
I
To
see
each
what
his
you mean.
own.
I
To
know.
each his
I
own.
definitely know what you mean by gross. But the way that she said it was that, and I don't want to promote her lifestyle, but
Because the physicality of it all.
right. The physical.
well, those,
that piece
those
of
once
it,
again,
that piece of it.
once
But
again with
the
emotional.
relationship is
emotion
she got
too.
different
Yeah.
things from each one of them, and that's what she touched on in her therapy sessions with her
Yeah.
counselor.
Okay.
Was
She
that
was
she got
able-
something different from all of them.
Well, you do
It
that.
seems like she's spread her. I mean, I need to watch it, but
You gonna get that
would
anyway.
be spreading
once
yourself
again,
very thin.
Once again, when you look at the, when you look at the definition,
Right.
when you look at the definition, it's concepts.
Yeah.
So that concept of what? Concept of love. You understand? what I'm saying?
Friendship.
And
Yeah.
everybody's concept and what
Yeah.
everybody.
Right. So I mean,
Views it as.
yeah, whatever they view
Different.
it as. Now, also too, when you want to look at things like when they lay down and be intimate,
Right.
that's
It's different.
that's what you call intercourse.
Right. Right.
So when you look at the definition of intercourse means business.
Right.
It means trade and commerce.
Because
So-
see,
Of trade, right,
because
of trade
see,
and commerce.
Sheik
So it's all the
believes
same.
that
It-
Sheik, if I'm not mistaken, right, you believe that
well, I don't believe it, but you know. go
to
ahead.
you, okay,
Go ahead.
love or relationship is a business.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
It's a business.
I agree.
I feel like.
Marriage
I feel like. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I feel like every relationship is different anyway. Okay, so like if I go over a female's house and the dude just left from over there, our relationship's gonna be way different than what their relationship was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No
So-
relationships are the same.
Exactly.
Right.
So I can probably say it's kind of a business.
It's different. Well,
But-
different. We all value different things in different people.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
So-
And that's what they looking for. That's what she was looking for.
Those are the
She was looking for friendship. She was looking for love. She was looking for support, and she was looking for emotion.
She was looking for all that, and she was getting it
there
at all
are-
She was
three.
getting it all.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
had to
and all
have three of them.
So
because
to be
I'm-
fulfilled, she needed all three.
All three of
It's a
them.
partnership.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a lot.
And that was
Yeah,
That's a
one may say
lot.
it's a lot, but if everybody
Did she have like multiple personalities?
no.
No, she
Okay.
just.
No.
One may
I
say
think
it's a lot, but
she's
you know.
she's a
One
very
man made it
creative person. She's a very creative person, and she likes
was
to
needy.
create her own
Yeah,
reality.
that's what you gotta be needy.
She was a little needy.
Yeah.
She was a little needy.
Yeah.
But she did assert her power towards the end of the movie because Jamie had given her a large sum of cash to assist with her business endeavors. Then some other things happened, and she gave it back. And so it wasn't as if she was in it just
For the money.
Right,
or just
right.
for what
Her
benefits.
needs.
It was also about I
he-
believe that she really had true relationships with these men.
So he
she
offered to support
No,
her,
she-
or she
Sounds like
was
she
looking
did.
at
She
him?
did. She did. She
He
did.
offered. That was the love of his
okay.
life. So he
Business.
wanted to make sure that absolutely is
He wanted to make sure
I
that
definitely
she-
believe
yeah.
So
that.
let me ask you guys this.
Relationships are a business. I
Was
believe.
I imagine each guy was totally different.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One guy made her smile all the time, which was Mars.
Mars
He was
Black.
a silly one.
Was one
Yeah.
guy mean?
No, one guy was more of a romantic,
Okay, and then the other?
and one guy was more of a just a straight
Narcissist
man. Yeah, yes.
into himself.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So it
I'm
was.
definitely gonna go home
Yeah, I
and
gotta
watch
check
this
that one
movie.
out.
Yeah, this
Definitely
wasn't
check
supposed to be a commercial for Nola Darling, but I do think that her life. I think that the way that I don't want to say society, but the way that women are evolving now and are growing, and we're becoming more and more independent. We're running our own lives. We're running our own shows. We're starting businesses. We're doing our thing, and I think that women are making decisions that
There's gonna be more
empower
women.
them.
More women.
So
As
you
opposed
feel
to
like-
holding them back and slowing them down, because before, if we look at relationships from a traditional standpoint,
Right.
women are the ones that are left with the baggage. We're left with the children. We're left to pick up the pieces. We're left to carry it all by ourselves.
Right.
When men can go out, and I think that a lot of men are intimidated by that type of thing, just because that power. There's an exchange of power
Right,
that's happening.
right.
You know what I mean?
So do you feel like the independence in women today is what has brought this movie back to the forefront?
I do.
Yeah, because it's
I
all of a
definitely
sudden
do.
back on the forefront. Maybe back in '86 when it came out,
Maybe it was ahead of
more
his time.
taboo.
Oh,
It was ahead of his
absolutely.
time.
Today, it's more
Celebrated.
falling right in line with today's woman, and it's more celebrated, like you said.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yep,
That's
yep.
exactly what's going
Yep.
on for real. Because more
'Cause look
women,
how it's back now.
Because
It's
more
like-
women is gonna act. It's more women is acting just like she's acting. You know what I'm saying?
And see, I don't agree with that, but I see why it's going that way, though. I understand why.
Well,
it may
now-
not be
now-
my choice because I'm
nowadays-
more a traditionalist.
Right.
But I see why.
It takes
though.
away a lot of arguments.
Well, it do take away a lot of arguments.
You know what I'm saying? It takes away a lot of arguments.
I kind of see as far as to why a woman would reach out to more than just one man with for different attributes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because the way society is structured right now, it makes it kind of hard and difficult for the average Asiatic black man. And so, with that being said, is his confidence is low.
Right.
So, it kind of needs. How could I say it? I want to make it. Yeah, he kind of needs, and she kind of needs. Say like he might be a softer type of gentleman versus this harder type of gentleman that never.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, exactly.
And compatibility.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is very that's very, very important. What you said, Asiatic black man, what exactly? We've got just a couple minutes left in the show. Can you explain that briefly?
Well, this would take us back into history, far in history.
So we may not have enough time to cover.
Yeah, but it'll take
a
us
whole
back
nother show.
before 1724. 1724, we were labeled as something, besides what we really are legally. So they gave us a definition of black.
We'll definitely have to touch on that on another show
Yes,
and get into that.
we can touch
Absolutely.
on that. And so that
He'll
right there,
definitely inform
that
you
right
on
there,
all of
that
that.
right there is also a root of some of the problems that we have today.
I'm sure. It's because it's definitely deeper than the surface. And I think a lot of us are staying right on the surface with the issues that we're facing and not really digging deep.
Exactly.
And that's why we're not solving anything.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we have just a little over a minute left. Do you have any final thoughts on relationship? Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. So since you have older children, the three of you have, mine is, I guess, an older teen, but you have adult children. What do you think they are facing now in the society, growing up with people like Nola Darling and growing up, she just has more popularity now, and growing up with the with the hip hop world, what do you think your kids are looking at as far as relationships? Do you think there's a bright light, or do you think that the black family is just?
I think it's a dim light.
Yes.
I feel like
I agree with her.
a lot of men in the hip hop world, or maybe just even our black community, are a little afraid of commitment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think you have to go any further with that. Just leave it right there with it.
Once again, when you
20
go, I'm gonna go off of what she's saying. Once again, when you look up the definition of commitment, it's a contract. Basically, it's to commit yourself to another or anything or different concepts and stuff like that. So, with that being said, is a lot of our younger generation they're kind of careless. And they don't know how to commit themselves to things. So,
Very much so. I definitely agree with that. Commitment is not something that is very popular these days. That's all the time, though, that we have today on Oops, Have I Said Too Much? My name is L.Marie. This is my host, Wilson. And we've had Latisha and Shiek with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time on Oops, Have I Said Too Much?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We out.
We have.